And happy Wednesday, everybody. It's time once again for weekly profit talk. We do this every single week, as the name implies, and we do this on Wednesday at 8:30 Mountain Time. If you're in Los Angeles, that's 7:30, and if you're somewhere in Florida, that's 10:30. Chicago, that'd be 9:30. So it is 8:30 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time, and we're getting to the point where we're going to be rolling back to standard and doing the nights are longer thing here shortly, the slow winding down of the clock. So each week, we like to discuss a certain topic that has some at least ancillary effect upon the profit, which is the bottom line of your medical practice. So um, the bottom line is simply a function of three things: the money that you take in from claims and collections, patient responsibilities. Subtract from that what most likely reduces gross profit for medical practices is your staffing, the people that keep you looking great and providing five-star service. You subtract the cost of that, you get gross profit, and then you subtract all the other expenses, selling, administrative, advertising, that sort of thing. And the result of that second subtraction is something called net income or profit. So this week's topic is going to be private practitioner. What was your why? I want to actually just explore a little bit the reasons that you had for getting into the medical field in the first place. And I imagine I try to think of some things like going back, as it were, into my childhood. I got skipped ahead in school, which is a really bad practice because it basically puts younger kids in advanced grades and you kind of stand out and the subject of bullying, as it were. So that wasn't such a great thing. I suppose it works out for some people. Perhaps I lacked self-confidence as a child or whatever. But here's the thing is you may have recognized in yourself something that caused you to believe that you've got the level of intelligence and drive to actually learn all that chemistry and mathematics and everything else that you would have to know to become a good doctor. And you started on this path, but you also um, probably had some other considerations in mind. And a few things I'm able to think of. First of all, doctors are famously supposed to be wealthy. You keep hearing that anyway. I remember I grew up in the 60s and 70s, and there was always jokes about the Jewish mothers that were always trying to marry their daughters off to well, he's such a handsome man, and he's a doctor, you know. So it's one of those professions that has a lot of respect. Career security and recession-proof resilience, it kind of go hand in hand. Basically, no matter what happens to the economy, people are still going to get sick and they're still going to need your help. So it's a great field to choose because of that. And of course, the kind of touched on the respect afforded elite professionals thing there. People actually want to sit next to you at dinner parties, that sort of thing. So one other thing, geographical freedom. This is one of the things that you can do anywhere in the United States or even in the world if you choose. And in fact, a lot of doctors have done that very thing. What do they call it? Doctors Without Borders, the volunteer program in Africa. There are a lot of opportunities for service as well. So it's probably some of the reasons that you thought of for doing it. Some more tangible, but maybe more esoteric reasons. One thing is you have an opportunity as you gain experience to actually show leadership and share your knowledge that you've been accumulating, as well as your experience with the next generation of young physicians and clinicians coming up. And that can be a very satisfying feeling. I know my few experiences with teaching and training that it is very satisfying when you see that light bulb go on in somebody's eye. And so that is, in fact, actually tangible, but it is, like I say, a little bit more less on the physical plane, kind of more of a emotional and esoteric feeling. Going into specialties, there are two good reasons for this. One is it pays more. If you specialize in a particular area of the body, you're a gastroenterologist and your nose and throat. It's rhino, otolaryngology, Right. Okay. I know this. I could pronounce it if I could read it, but cardiac, your other various specialties. If you are able to, in fact, treat a specific area of the body and find yourself in a position where you are referred uh, by the general practitioners in the field, it is actually a tremendous boon to your income because you're basically specializing allows you to basically bill at a premium level. But it also gives you the opportunity once again to teach in this field as well. You, say you discover something in the process of doing thousands of surgeries over the course of 10 or 20 years. Your experience shared with others in the form of journal writing and mentoring is invaluable and is um, has a lasting benefit to society. So um, the relationships that you have with your patients and their families, often this can be very rewarding and a very special bond that you have. Here's another thing, and I know as an accountant, I always bless the fact that I went into what I do because I never struggle with my checkbook or my home finances. I basically, with the certain specific industry knowledge, I'm able to do these things for myself more easily. And so are you. If you have specific knowledge of the physiological makeup of the body, you're naturally going to be in better health, hopefully. Of course, and if you are one of the doctors that I've seen over the years, you're basically conscious of the cholesterol inducing effect of foods as well as many other things. And the field of knowledge constantly changes. You can't know everything and expect to know everything a year from now without constant reading and continuing education in your field. So, for that matter, if you like an interesting career, you certainly have chosen one. So, now I want to talk about the final part and business administration, accounting and taxes, managing human resources. You have started a private practice, and congratulations, you're most likely making that profitable if you've been in it at least over a year. But you probably have questions. What can I be doing to make this better? Am I maximizing my practice's resources? Am I getting the most out of the staffing that I possibly could? Should I order X machine or Y diagnostic equipment? And what is the upsides and downsides fiscally? You're not expected to know the answer to these things. You specialize in something that is extremely valuable and necessary for society. Nobody expects you to be a brilliant businessman at the same time. And this is the part where um, a little humility, if that's possible, and I'm certain for most people it is. It might be in your best interest to think of this allegory. And I borrowed this from a book that I read on self development. But you take a guy that's got a leaky pipe under his sink, and his wife's on him, and you're having to put pails under it because it drips. He's like, okay, well, I can figure this out, right? It's just pipes and water and, tools and stuff. So it spends an entire weekend working on this thing, hours and hours and hours, let's say 12 hours total. Finally does get it figured out, but with much swearing and multiple trips to the hardware store because you don't know what you need. And you got to go back and do all that thing again. Here's the point. You have to sit and think about how much billable time did that person use to fix the problem that he had. Would he have been better off actually hiring a professional um, and allowing someone to come in and do what took him 12 hours in just 2 hours, as well as despite the fact that there's a financial cost, certainly, but you're basically paying for experience um, as well as professionalism. And the point I'm making here is there is a time money continuum in your practice because congratulations, you're an entrepreneur now. So um, you have to ask yourself the question, how much do I really want to be doing all of this? Now, if you're thinking that you just have to categorize transactions in a bookkeeping software and push all your stuff at an account and get it turned into a tax return once a year, I'm going to tell you that you're costing yourself money right there. There are several red flags that come up for me. One is you should be making tax payments 4 times a year. They're called estimated taxes. That's huge, critical. You could be paying thousands of extra dollars in underpayment penalties, but also you have that sphincter tightening feeling during tax season that all of a sudden you have a 5, 10, 15, even $20,000 tax bill. Where's the money going to come from? So you got to do one of 3 things. Um, Withdraw from your savings down to zero, get on an IRS installment plan, or just choose to do nothing, be upset about it, but blow it off and allow it to accumulate. And then you're in a worse problem because you're going to be accumulating interest and penalties on that liability for as long as you have it. And there are thousands, maybe millions of people in this country that actually have tax liability of 5 or 6 figures or more. You definitely never want to be in that position. And the simple reason is this: the IRS is not going to stand over you and tell you what to do. What they're going to do is they're going to punish you in your wallet. So the best way to get ahead of the game is the same as preventative medicine. You want to basically take care of it before it becomes a problem. Think of it, my favorite allegory is the messy room in your mind. If you pick the things up so that you can walk through it without tripping over things, and keep your mental room clean at all times, then you're basically able to focus your attention on more higher-minded principles and processes. So in conclusion, then, you chose a very valuable field, which I thank you for. I was talking about my own profession, and I'm always very grateful for the fact that there is a yin-yang balance in accounting. You have debits, you have credits. Basically, every transaction has 2 sides. It's all in black ink on white paper. What you guys do confounds and astounds me, and I have so much respect for it. You're having to deal with the variability of chemistry as well as the human condition. And on top of that, there's all the entire holistic mind matter. What's the word I'm looking for? Interaction. Which is different for every patient. Some people basically hinder their own healing by believing that they're sick, while others absolutely refuse to be sick, and they manage to heal themselves despite the physician's assertions that that they're going to have a difficult time doing so. So there's a variety of human experience in medicine that, again, I just have a lot of admiration for. So get the help that you need to be as affluent as possible. You can actually make decisions based on real numbers. There's a thing called micro forecasting that our firm is able to do for you. We could sit and plug in a new doctor and put his or her salary into your system, as well as a projected increased revenue, and actually look at what the numbers will look like 6 and 12 and even 36 months out. So a good business advisor that goes beyond the mere counting of your books and doing of your taxes is critical to the actual wealth and affluence of your practice. And ultimately, you want to be able to work as long as you want to. If you're healthy and happy and you love helping people and you want to work into your 60s like I am, then you certainly can do that. But the thing is that at some point, sooner or later, you most likely have a spouse that would like to have more of your time, and there's going to come a point where you're going to want to do something else. Maybe full retirement isn't your thing, and you want to do something more like write your memoirs, anything like that. Okay. My point is that you want to work your business with the goal in mind of at some point selling it in the future and having a comfortable retirement. So if you want to know more about what we're able to do to make your practice more affluent, please reach out. We're on 3 different media here. We're talking to you live on YouTube, LinkedIn, and of course, Facebook as well. Any one of those has a comments section. Pop us a message and let's talk soon about how we can help you in your practice. So you can even write to me at eric@owingsllc.com. Nice, simple, short email address. So with that, I hope you guys all have an amazing rest of your Wednesday and the remainder of the week. And watch out for the ghosties and ghoulies out there tomorrow night. That's going to be a lot of fun. We're in a lucky neighborhood where we get to see the little kids dress up. So I hope you all have an enjoyable Halloween and the new month coming. And if you do have a chance today or soon, do something randomly kind for a stranger as well. So with that,